I had every intention of purchasing Realm of Magic during the autumn sale so that I can make a fun witchy build this week. However, since the news of EA being potentially sold, I am doing the one thing in my power that I can to protest, and I'm choosing not to purchase any more DLC. So that means I'm working with what I got, and today I'm still gonna channel all of that witchy energy and I'm going to build a crystal shop. I made this Sim Sasha. She is going to be our crystal expert and shop owner. We're gonna build her an apartment above her store, and then we may also build her some kind of like basement where she can teach gemology. I dressed her in a bunch of life and death because I felt like that was definitely the vibe, and I gave her this really beautiful tattoo. If you're looking for it on the gallery, I just searched up floral tattoo. If you scroll down a little, you'll find this one by Little Black Cat 33, and that is the tattoo that I used. I think it's so gorgeous. I think I'm gonna move her into Henford-on Bagley in that little town area. I think that they're desperate for a little crystal shop. I'm kind of thinking about building the shop on this little 20 by 20 lot right in the center of town. I do have to evict the Scots though. It's okay, we'll move them right next door. This is definitely the perfect lot for our shop. I love that there's a little side entrance right here and the front is super cute. The vibe that I'm going for with this build is really small and tight. I want it to be ultra cramped on the inside. I think that really fits with what we're going for. I'm also kind of thinking that I want it to be skinny and tall. The lighting on this lot is horrible. Maybe we'll do some kind of bump out right here. Oh, what if there was like a little tower? This may look silly, so just bear with me. Okay, this looks ridiculous with no roof, so I'm gonna put some on very quickly. I think I'm going to do something kind of tall and curvy. So I'm gonna raise this up and then I'm gonna bring in the sides. If you press Shift C, it's going to unlock more curve options, but it also smooths it out a little bit. Let's bring it up just a little taller. I think that's really cute actually. Let's go ahead and copy this onto the other roof. Maybe we'll lower this side down ever so slightly. For the little tower, I'm just gonna grab an octagonal roof and I'm gonna drag it up. I want it to be like kind of tall and pointy. I'm gonna do the same trick with Shift C to curve it in a little bit. Oh, I think it could be even taller. Yeah. That's cute. I really like that. I think I also want to put a couple of chimneys. I don't know why chimneys feel really whimsical, so I'm gonna build a couple of my own. Maybe we'll do one right there, and then let's grab a half wall. I'm not sure what size. That's cute. I feel like it could be a little taller. Yeah. I like that. And because one chimney is just not whimsical enough, I'm going to grab another one and put it right here. We'll do that same trick with a half wall. This may look crazy, but I have a vision. For this front chimney, I'm going to grab a half gabled roof and I'm going to make it 1 by 1 tile and place it right next to the chimney. We'll bring in the side eaves, drag it upwards a little bit. Maybe I'll curve this in ever so slightly as well. I just like the way that that looks together. Now these are just fake chimneys and I want to make them real chimneys, so I'm gonna grab something that I can put inside. I want there to be actual smoke coming from the top. Now you can see when I try and place the chimney into the fake chimney, it sticks up quite a bit. So what I'm gonna do to fix that is I'm gonna delete the floor. That way when I grab it and place it, I can just raise it up with the 9 key and get it to the exact height that I want. Okay, let's think about wallpaper. I want to go for some kind of stone, I think. I like the trim on this. I just don't think that it's exactly the vibe that we're going for. Wait a second. What if we did a color? I love this like blushy pinky purple shade from the Life and Death pack, and the plaster and it having like kind of the crumbling at the bottom. For the chimney and the tower, I want to do a stone, and I'm kind of thinking that this might match. I don't know if I'm delusional or not, but it feels like some of these stones like have kind of a purpley hue and it matches really well with this concrete. These need to be changed. Ooh, okay. This like dark gray color also matches perfectly. Again, I don't know if I'm delusional or not, but I love the way that that looks. Let's get some kind of trim along this tower. I hate that you could see like the white underneath. I don't want something that's gonna stick out too much. Like this just feels a little excessive for this tiny little tower. Oh, this one's not too big and it kind of matches perfectly. Let's try that. Oh, and we need to pick a roof swatch. Okay, this little tiny shingle one is cute, but it looks too pristine, if that makes sense. Oh, now wait a second. Oh, these shingles might actually be the perfect vibe. I like that it's not like a stark black as well. I actually really like this. I think this looks super cute. Let's go ahead and find a door. I think it's safe to look at the cottage living doors first. I like this one with the wreath, but I don't know. Oh, the green's kind of cute, but I just don't know if that's really like the vibe that I'm going for. Let's look at this one. This door is really cute with the fox knocker. Fox knocker. What a crazy thing to say. I like this. I like the detail. I like that it's worn. The other ones were leaning a little bit more like fairy, and I don't want that to be the vibe of this place. I want it to be definitely a little bit more like witchy. And now, windows. I've been kind of dreading this part. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think I've ever used this particular set of windows before. I do like it. Here, let's look where it's got better lighting. I like the little stone detail on the bottom, and I think that all the flourishes are really pretty. Okay, let's roll with this for a second. Let's just test it and see. I will say I love that we have like every size imaginable. We could do a big one right here. We can get another little one of these tiny ones on this roof piece. I like this a lot. I think this is really cute, and I'm just now realizing I think that I want like some corbels or something under this tower because it looks so odd just floating like that. My favorite corbels in the game are these from Cats and Dogs, but they do not come in any like super dark swatches. We've got this dark wood one, but that's not really a part of the color scheme that we've got going on. I suppose we could try it. I can always come back to it and change it. For the windows on the tower, I don't know if I want to go for something that's like full windowed. That is definitely really pretty though. Do you think I would need to put one right here? See, I think that looks silly with too many windows. I think that I would have to delete these. I don't know. I think that they feel a little bit too modern. Okay, I just got an idea. Stick with me. What if I did these closed shuttered windows on the skinny parts, and then I could do the matching open shuttered windows on these, so it looks like she's closed some of the shutters, but she's still letting in a little bit of the light. Does that look insane, or is it kind of cool? I think I kind of like it. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. I also never use these shuttered windows, and when am I gonna get the chance to use them again? I will say though that the height of the windows is a little short. Maybe what I could do is add a frieze. So because I'm using short wall height and the friezes are locked because it requires a taller wall height, I'm gonna do a little bit of a workaround. I'm gonna go up to a super top floor and I'm gonna draw a single wall. Change that wall height to tall or medium or whatever you need. That's gonna unlock all of the friezes. To get it on the wall that I wanna use, I'm just gonna hold Shift, and you have to individually place all of the pieces on the wall. Then you could just delete that one random wall and your frieze will still be there. I like that. I think that's cute. I'm gonna scoot the whole lot over to kind of center the doorway with the little walkway. I'm thinking about fencing in the entire property. I just think it would look so cute with some kind of like little fence, and then we can get some kind of gate, maybe even two gates. We could put one on this side and one on this side. Like those are the two entrances to the shop. The question is, which fence do we choose? We could always just go with the stone wall that comes in cottage living. I just don't like that. Not for this build. I want something that's a little like cuter, fancier. I don't know. Okay, the romantic garden fence comes in like a dark gray. I don't hate this. Let's look at the gate before I get ahead of myself. Wait, this is the vibe. This is such the vibe. Let's get another one and try and just kind of do our best to line it up with these stairs. That's close enough. Not gonna lie, you guys, these corbels, they're still throwing me off and I have to get rid of them. Let's take another look. See, this just looks so dinky. Oh, now wait a second. This one might be like obscenely large, but what if we just did two? Oh, you guys, I think I like that. I like how big it is. Like, it looks like it's really actually supporting the tower. Unlike the ones from Get Together, it's just like the tiniest piece of wood. This actually looks really nice. So let's hang on to those. I'm also kind of considering extending this trim around the whole 2-story piece. I am kind of starting to think that maybe I want to change this trim. I don't mind that it sticks out a little bit. I really minded it in the beginning, but now I kind of think it's really cute. My vision is that we'll have some sort of path. We can do just a little bit of landscaping in each corner to kind of fill out the lot. We can add trees and maybe a little place to sit. But for now, let's move on to the inside. Okay, I said I wanted tiny, and that is absolutely what I'm getting. I need to find a place right off the bat to put the stairs. Okay, if I put the stairs right here, that is a lot of wasted space, isn't it? If I tuck the stairs into this front corner, I had to delete my little window right here, which I'm a little sad about, but that's okay. This is weird, but it might work. I closed off this little section. I know it's cutting into the window, but it's cutting into like not a bad place. Like, you can kind of see that the two windows are still separate, which kind of works. This becomes our bathroom, and then we can tuck a bed somewhere in here. I think that'd actually be really cute. And then we can put a kitchen right along this wall here. And then that's all we need. Downstairs in our shop area, we are going to need the gemology table. Oh my God, it comes in purple. We can get a really cute little archway. So this can be where she works. We can have little bits and bobs for sale in here. And then out here will also be more of the shop. Also in the shop, I'm gonna want like a big cozy fireplace. I do love this little corner fireplace. The detail on it is really pretty, and it doesn't take up that much room. Okay, let's put down some kind of hardwood floor. I want something kind of rustic. I think I might go with this jungle adventure one. Ooh, or this one from Island Living is really pretty. Oh, let's go for that. In terms of wallpaper, I actually do kind of want to look at the one from Crystal Creations. This is definitely a vibe, if not the vibe. I also absolutely adore this wallpaper from the Paranormal pack. Maybe this is what she has in like her workroom. And then the crystal wallpaper can be like right when you enter the shop, so there's no mistaking what kind of store you're in. I did say that I wanted some kind of basement where she could teach gemology and crystal cutting to other people, and I still want that. I just don't know where to put it. If I draw a basement right here, is it gonna be super weird? No. Okay. I think that if I want to copy the stairs, I need to delete the underside. So let's try doing that. Okay. You know what? It's a little weird, but I think that I like it. Let's get some kind of railing because this is crazy. I did not think about how the railing was going to clip into this window, and I hate that. I hate that with my whole being, but there's not really anything that we can do about it. This whole area here does kind of look a mess. I'm not even gonna lie, but let's just ignore it. Maybe what we could do is cover it with another fireplace. Listen, that might be kind of crazy, but we do have 2 chimneys, so I do need to start thinking about what kind of shelves I'm going to put in here to sell our crystals. I don't love that all of these shelves are kind of modern for what we're going for, but I don't own Get to Work, so this is all I really have. I like that big wall of shelves. I think that it works really well for what we're going for. Maybe we could get some of these little pedestals in. I really don't know what's going on with the coloring of those, but hey, you know, it kind of works. I'm also putting in some of these like cube display things. I don't know, they're so boxy. Maybe I'll put one of the pedestals here and then one of the little round things. I can't tell if that looks bizarre or not. I'm really making it work with what we got, you guys. Maybe in here we can add just a few more of these shelves. And I do like that now you kind of have to like wind your way around to get to the stairs. Let's get like a really big plant to put in this corner. Olive tree is kind of cute. I am struggling a little bit with what we consider to be like witchy plants. Maybe we could get a couple. Look at these two greens. Look at the difference of these two plants. It's actually insane. Whatever. Let's throw in another green just for good measure. Okay, she's got herself a little plant corner right next to where she works. I think that's cute. I gave her these little curtains that are like swished back above her workstation. It might be nice to get some of the posters that came with Crystal Creations. I think the cycles of the moon are really cute. It's like her reference for when she needs to charge certain crystals. Let's think about lighting for a second, because I feel like this corner is kind of begging for some kind of lamp. The issue is that this game is really kind of lacking in good standing tall lamps. Let's try this one. That's cute. Do we think that Sims can still get by? Yes. And let's copy some of these drapes. It's feeling very one note in here. I'm wondering if I need to switch the wallpaper. What about this blue color? See, I don't love that. Maybe this like magenta is the vibe. And I think it pairs well with the purple of this wallpaper. Now we need some rugs up in here. Okay, this hodgepodge of rugs is a little crazy, but I think that I like it. I like how weird it is. Like, you know, this woman has been stocking up on secondhand rugs and vintage rugs, and this is her time to shine. I'm going absolutely crazy with these rugs. I like it. I think it's so weird, and I'm down for that. I think that what we need right here is some kind of gallery wall, something that sets the tone for the vibe of the shop when you walk in. So I'm gonna grab a couple different pieces and see if I could kind of match them together like a puzzle and make it look really lived in, like she's been collecting art for a long time, like the rugs. Oh, we're out of money. Okay, I think we just need one little thing to go right here. Maybe what we could do is, instead of trying to find the perfect picture to go in that spot, I can grab like a candle wall sconce or something. Yeah, and I actually think I like this one a little bit better. That is cute. I'm liking this. I do think that we need to change the lighting. Let's get something a little bit more warm in the space. Does this seem like the type of establishment that would have a candelabra chandelier? I kind of feel like yes. Let's grab another one of these candles and put it right along the stairwell, and maybe one right here for good measure. We might as well. Let's see about putting something on the wall right here. Ooh, this mirror is so pretty. Is it weird to put the tools up here? It's kind of random, but also she does not have a lot of room in this shop. Like, she definitely has to make do where she can. The downstairs is looking crazy, but I think I like it. So why don't we move up to her apartment? It is ultra tight right here, but I think that we can make it work. We do need a little door to her bathroom. Maybe her bed can go just straight in this little nook. She is gonna have to have a single bed, and I do feel sorry about that. This little iron bed with the floral bedding is pretty dang cute, I have to say. I guess we also need flooring up here. Her little kitchen nook is gonna go right here. And this is tricky because I don't actually know what counters I want to use. Part of me wants to give her like really fancy ones, as if she had just remodeled this place herself. What if we did this dark green? We can give her kind of an old-timey like vintage fridge. Okay, I kind of like that. She definitely does strike me as the kind of person who would completely remodel a kitchen but then go searching on Facebook Marketplace for like a vintage appliance. Let's give her just a cooktop. I don't want to do like a full-blown stove situation. I know that might look a little weird, but at least it functions and she can cook. We'll get a little sink up here. I need to look at wallpaper. We're doing this kind of dark green vibe. I don't know if this just suddenly became like way too much dark green. I kind of feel like we can lean into it. Like, it's kind of giving color drench. Let's quickly throw together the bathroom. Okay, this combo is kind of cute. This is the sleek bathroom tile on the walls, and then I have a for rent tile on the floor. This bathroom is about to be laid out so weird. I think I'm gonna put the shower right next to the door. Oh, that's so odd. I know that's so odd. I'm gonna put the toilet right here, and then my sink can go along this wall. Let's use the Crystal Creations mirror again. It's so pretty. Okay, this is the oddest laid out bathroom potentially of all time. I'm gonna get some toilet paper. Ooh, I'll also get her a little hand towel to go right next to the sink. sink. Might as well grab some soap while we're at it. I think that the back of the toilet could use like a little plant or something to bring a little bit of life into this place. Okay, that's cute. And then maybe, ooh, what about a candle? Let's just switch out the light for something a little bit more warm toned. She definitely needs some kind of robe on the door or something. Maybe I'll give it to her in green. And because her shower is absolutely so sad, let's at least add a little bit of clutter on the wall or something. There, she can have like a little loofah and soap. Okay, this bathroom is weird, but I think it turned out cute. Let's start to clutter some of this space. She definitely needs a nice big rug. I kind of think she needs a round rug, so I may use this life and death one again. And there is a green one. It's kind of a lot, but I actually like how it fits really nicely. Let's give her something on this wall right here. I'm not exactly sure what. Oh, these shelves are so pretty. Let's see if we can't throw some clutter on these. Let's give her a little picture. I also love this little display. This jewelry box is so cute, but it's not slotting to the shelf. Maybe if I size it down. Oh, it's got a mirror. Never mind. Maybe we could give her this hourglass. That's kind of cool. I just want one other little thing to go here. I'm kind of thinking that that might be a good place for a little candle. No, a salt lamp. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Let's see about getting some curtains on these windows. We could just use the same ones from downstairs. I do love how drapey they are. In the kitchen, should we give her some kind of appliance? The kettle could be really cute. Let's do that. She deserves that. And then I'm just gonna grab a couple little decor clutter items for the kitchen. Nothing crazy, just a few things here and there to make it feel like it's lived in. We'll get some little greenery back here. These are really cute. Then we need something on the wall here. I'm not sure what, but I may go for the knives. I know I really be doing that in these builds, but it's so good for small kitchen spaces. There's also these pots that actually fill out this wall so nicely, and it's really realistic, like she would be keeping her pots there, you know? Maybe then on this wall I can get the knives. Yeah, I like that. I do feel like I just need one more little like canister or something to go over in this little space right here. Ooh, something like this. Oh, and that's exactly where I want it. I like this a lot, actually. It's not like the most ideal living space, but I think that it actually works. The only thing that I feel like we're kind of missing is a dining table. And I'm like, could I get away with putting one in right here? But this is crazy. Like this is taking up half the room. Oh, but this table is the vibe. Well, let me just see about getting a chair. Okay, wait. Is this weird? Because I like it. Oh my gosh, it's so random. The dining table just like in the middle of the room. But tell me this isn't perfect. You know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do for these tiny little spaces. Okay, I put the tiniest little plant on top of this table. I actually think this turned out so nice. The last thing that we need to do is, of course, get some kind of different light because that saucer one was not doing it. Maybe up here we go for the cottage living light. Okay, to the basement. See, this is where we're going to teach. I don't want it to be ultra big in here by any means, but I definitely want it to feel like we have enough space to actually host a lecture. So let me go back to small business. Let's grab a teaching board. Oh my gosh, I forgot to register our small business this whole time. Let's pause super quick and let's actually register a small business. None of these icons are like particularly striking. I think if we were leaning into the jewelry making thing, then this would work really well, but I don't know, these just aren't ultra the vibe, so I may just go with this one. It's super basic, and I'm gonna call this the Gem of Henford. I think that's so cute. Now, what do we want people to do? Of course, we want people to browse and buy items, but we also want people to attend classes and lectures. Let's start with that for now, and let's see how many gemology tables we actually need. Start class requires at least these 3 gemology tables nearby. Okay, so I'm gonna need 3 down here. I might even be able to squeeze in 4. It's a little tight, but I actually think that we can make it work. Maybe I'll scoot this back ever so slightly and then scoot this in. Like I said, I still want it to feel small, even though we kind of have like infinite space in this basement. I want it to still feel really cozy. I'll get the same wood as upstairs. The other thing that I have to think about that I've kind of been putting off is that I need bathrooms for my guests. And I think I'm gonna try and put those down here. Like I said, since we have infinite space, I think that this will actually work out really nicely because we can fit 2 bathrooms down here. And then I am just gonna throw these together ultra quick. They do not need to be fancy by any means. I like these oval mirrors from Get Together. Let's change the metal of the sinks to be more silver. And now I'm gonna grab some of the same plants as upstairs and just pop a couple into this bathroom. And then maybe we can get some cute pictures on the wall as well, something that kind of fits the theme. Like this one can have this tarot card. Oh my god, I couldn't see which swatch I picked. And it's Father Winter. Let's pick something else. Wait, should we do Bonehilda? That's kind of cute. I like that. For the lights, I'm gonna delete the saucers, of course, and I think I'm gonna go with something that's like a little bit more ragged. I wanna just use the single hanging light bulb down here. I think that that's so appropriate. They actually light up the space really well. Maybe what we can do is also grab the restroom signs and pop those on the door, just so people know. And then over here, I know exactly what pictures I want. I want the ones from Crystal Creations, these that kind of talk about like the parts of the gem. These to me are so perfect. It's like you can reference them when you're cutting your gems. Down here, I definitely want to do the same lights as upstairs. Now, this is a really big open blank wall and I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. Maybe what I can do is grab some of these lights that I used downstairs. That kind of helps break up the wall ever so slightly, and then I could do like tarot cards and have it be like a big feature. I like this idea. Underneath the stairs is looking just a little bit empty. I'm gonna see if there's anything cute that I could put down here. Oh, what if I did like a little table with music on it? I like that. I think that's kind of cute. It looks a little small, maybe a little weird, but whatever. With the interior pretty much done, I now need to move on to the exterior. So let's go ahead and start with some big trees, and maybe we'll get another one right in the front. I'm gonna try and tuck this ticket kiosk like right here at the front and kind of hide it behind the gate because it's definitely not the vibe, but we gotta do what we gotta do. I'm gonna grab a wall mailbox. I put the little mailbox right there, and then I think I'm gonna get some kind of light to go right next to the door. I really do love this one from Businesses and Hobbies. It's like an old gas lamp. I also like that it doesn't stick out too much. It's not like super intrusive. Back to our landscaping. I think to cover up these wall shelves sticking out a little bit, I'm just gonna grab a little hedge and we can line the sides. And we're clipping. I'm kind of intrigued by the prospect of having some ivy on this place. Maybe just a little bit. Sometimes I really love these giant, weird, pointy topiaries. I can't explain it. It's like sometimes they'd really just like work for me. Other times I think that they're the ugliest thing on planet Earth and I would never consider putting them in my build, but today's not one of those days. I think that they're kind of working for what we're going for, so, you know. I'm gonna grab some of these green ferns and start tucking these around as well. I feel like we need some kind of really pretty big bushy tree right here. Something like this is nice. Okay, I also put these weird topiaries right in front because I feel like I hate the way that the concrete kind of just ends right here. If I hit Control F, that'll give me these little triangle tiles. I can kind of bring the path out ever so slightly. I think that that helps. But we'll go ahead and grab some of these ferns as well. Oh my gosh, these purple flower bushes are exactly the vibe. Let's get a couple of these everywhere. We could also use some ferns back here. I don't want to go too overboard on the landscaping because I do think that she probably really takes care of her property. It wouldn't be like too overgrown. I think it's like well manicured. I do really want to add in these little mushrooms though. I think that these are so adorable and she would absolutely let these grow on her property. Oh my God, that's so cute. Okay, I'm just gonna add in a couple little single ones here and there. Something about this also kind of just makes it feel finished. I can't describe it. And now that I've added the little mushrooms, it's like, okay, we're almost done. I do think she needs like a little fountain or a bird bath or something out here. Here's a little bird bath. Here is the fountain though. What do we think? I think the fountain might just be the vibe. Like something about that just really sets the tone as you walk into the cottage. I do love this well that has flowers growing in it. Maybe we could have that towards like the back of the property. I don't know. I think it's a cute little touch. The only other thing that we really absolutely do need is a place to charge our crystals. What I'm gonna do is go to surfaces and then dining tables, and I'm gonna start looking at some of our round options because we're able to slot the crystal charging pad onto one of these tables, and I think it just looks so much better. It looks finished. I do love this one. It has like a wrought iron base to it. Now we just grab this mystical moonlight crystal grid, and you can grab it in any color. I kind of like this purpley tone that we've been going for. And now you're able to charge your crystals directly on this. Okay, I added just a little bit of a fence as a border for the walkway. I feel like it looks a little bit more finished like that. And then what I'm gonna do is grab some terrain paint and try and make like a little worn in path here. I don't think that we're gonna find anything that actually matches. This little cobbled together is always my go-to, and I think I'm gonna try it now. Okay, I don't hate that. And then we can do kind of an offshoot into a little circle right here. We can scoot the little crystal grid. Now it feels like it has its own little space. Now I'm just gonna go in with some regular dirt terrain paint underneath the whole house and landscaping that we've done. This always just makes a build look so much more finished. I absolutely love it. I'm also gonna go in with this scratchy in patches swatch, and I'm gonna make my brush pretty small, and I'm just going to start tapping this into the cobbled together ever so slightly. I'm just gonna follow the exact outline. What this does is make it look like the grass is kind of growing over the cobblestones when you look closely, and I really like that look. Okay, I think that that looks really good. And with that, I think that we're done. I'm gonna give you one more tour before I put it up on the gallery. So this is our little crystal shop. I think this turned out so freaking adorable. You come in and this is like the main sales room. So all of the gems that you cut, any jewelry you create, you can put them on these pedestals as well as all of these shelves. In here is where I imagine Sasha doing all of her work. I like that she works in the shop, so when people come in and out, they can see that everything is handmade. I included a few more shelves back here, and then when you kind of wind up the staircase, you get into Sasha's apartment. It is so tight and cramped up here, but I actually think it's so adorable. I love the way that it turned out with the little dining area. I was so hesitant to put this in, but I think it works out. Over here, we've got a simple little bathroom, but I think it's really cute, especially for the odd layout. Then when you go into the basement, that's when you get into Sasha's classroom. So this is where she's able to teach classes to people. I imagine this is probably how she makes all her money because as we know, running a shop with businesses and hobbies does not make you as much money as when you actually teach classes. And with that, the build is complete. I'm so excited to actually play in this. Businesses and hobbies is one of my absolute favorite packs, so I'm really glad that I'm making it work year round. Oh wait, I'm gonna add one more tiny little detail on this roof. I really wanna add like a little weather vane or something on the tip. Oh my gosh. I think that's cute. That's the finishing touch that I felt like it needed. I am going to put this build as well as Sasha on the gallery. My gallery ID is just ToastieBuilds. I hope you enjoyed today's build. Thank you for bearing with me and the packs that I already own. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a very fun and spooky Halloween, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.